All right. It's 5 o'clock. I decided I'd just do a quick stream today. Um, Sitting around the house working on tanks and stuff. And looks like Adele stopped in. A collaboration of curiosities. So Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. I don't know how long I'll go, if I'll go long at all. I posted I scheduled it yesterday, last night, sometime a couple days ago. I don't know. It's like, I'll be sitting at the house, not doing much. We'll see if anybody wants to drop by. And I kept coming up with excuses of why I shouldn't go live today, but I'm trying to go live more. So I decided to go through with it. Deb's Aqua Pets, welcome. Happy New Year. Black Powder Aquatics, Happy New Year to you too. Yeah, my kids decided they were going to play with my tripod, and I have no idea where they put it. It's not like the full length, like floor length tripod. It's one of the smaller ones. I don't know. So I've got the camera rigged up on a bucket and some stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of frustrated with my 55 gallon. I don't know if I've even ever shown this tank on YouTube yet. Frustrated with it again. The hair algae is coming back. I did a water change on it, but I guess I need to do another major water change. It's the light. I hate the light. I bought a light off Amazon. I don't even remember the brand, but it looked neat that it had a built-in timer and can do sunrise, sunset, all that stuff. And it has a built-in timer that you can't adjust. You can tell it what time it is, and then it comes on at what it thinks is 6 a.m. and goes off at what it thinks is 10 p.m. and does a gradual up in the morning and down in the evening. But it's too much for the setup that I have, and the algae loves it. So I'm going to take that light off of that and probably swap it out with a different light. The plan is to switch that 55 out to a 125 whenever I get that wall over there painted. And I'm a procrastinator, so I'm not really getting on that very quickly. But when that gets done, I'll move the 55 into a 125 over there, and take the 55 down and move it out the building again or something. So looking back to 2023 was a pretty good year, I guess, all things considered. Made it to the Keystone Clash for the first time, made it to the OCA Extravaganza for the first time, made it up to the Live Bear and Killifish convention. Welcome, Zen, Mr. Pitt. I thought it said Mr. Pleco at first. I'm like, Mr. Pleco? I don't really do a lot of Plecos. Okay. But welcome, Zen. But yeah, I did three conventions in 2023. So that's pretty good. I was planning on cutting back on conventions going in the future, one or two. I may have to cut back even more than that due to changes in work. Welcome, Jenny Lynn. Happy New Year to you too. And if I didn't tell Zen Happy New Year also. So next year, one or two will be the most conventions that I could go to, and they'll have to be uh, fairly close. And Fish Fam Link has dropped in. Welcome, welcome. Um, been rearranging tanks in the building out there. Moving 10 gallons to one side and putting 20s in that spot and moving stuff around. I looked up and I had 2, 4, 5, 6 or 7 tanks back in the house. And the whole point of the building out there was to get tanks out of the house. So I'm trying to move those tanks back out there, leaving maybe just the one larger display tank in the house. And there's Bruiser. Welcome, Bruiser. Happy New Year. Nine hours into 2024. Yeah, people would ask me, "What are you going to do on New Year's Eve?" Like, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna set the house, and they tell me I'm lame. I used to always watch the Times Square ball drop and that whole celebration stuff. And I guess as I got older, I'm like, well, we all watch it with anticipation. What do we think it's not gonna happen? That the world's gonna end before the strike of midnight? Us watching it happen, it's not going to change that if it does happen. Maybe the ball's going to go upwards this time. So I don't do that anymore. If there's a stream on or something like that, I might watch that, but not really watch the TV celebrations. But I do think for next year, as far as my fish room and fish hobby goes, I say I'm gonna narrow stuff down and focus in, but we know how that goes. I go to the Keystone Clash. I say I'm not gonna buy any fish and come home with like 5 bags of fish. But I'm gonna try to focus in on certain species and do the project with them, and then um, do one or two things at a time instead of doing 40 or 50 different tanks worth of stuff. Not that I'm going to be going down to one or two tanks, but focusing in my efforts. Like with my Amatelani and Analudias, the little yellow convict fish, little cichlid. I spent 4 years looking for the things and found them with intentions of getting them and keeping them and breeding them and sharing them out in the local area. And when I found them, I got them and didn't really put forth the effort to set them up the proper breeding situation and get everything set right for that. And then when I actually focused on them, now I have fry swimming around in the tank. Hopefully they'll make it till they're large enough to be good on their own, but it just shows me I need to focus more on a few things at a time. Bruiser says it's hard to pass up a deal on fish. Yes, it is. Hard to pass up a deal on fish, on tanks, on any of the stuff. And I find myself, driving a couple hours for free fish or free tanks. And I'm like, why in the world? Halfway into the drive, I'm an hour and a half or so into the drive to go get the stuff. And I'm like, why in the world am I doing this? I don't need any more tanks. The fish I'm getting for free isn't really one of my passionate fish that I'm really into, but I do it anyways. I go pick up a common pleco because it's free. And I guess part of it is I use those, especially the free ones, as an opportunity to help build the hobby. That I don't want someone to get this fish. Let's use a common pleco as an example. And then they didn't know any better when they got it. And now it's a larger fish. And they don't know what to do with it. And, having the bad experience completely ruins them from the hobby. And now they're just telling, they're getting out and telling everybody how horrible it is. Trying something new here. Trying to get the chat to show up on the TV. But yeah, I don't want somebody making a mistake early in their hobby to completely turn them off of the hobby, and them to leave because they made a mistake in the fish that they got. And now they've got this common pleco and it's aggro in their tank and they're not happy with it and they don't know what to do with it, and they've learned that we don't need a common pleco. I think that if I can go pick up the fish and rehome it to someone that has an 800-gallon tank or something like that, then it's beneficial to the fish. It's beneficial to the hobbyist, and that helps get their experience in the hobby as a good one. But yeah, thing that comes to my mind right now is these pearl danios, I guess because they're in my face here swimming all around. I got a deal on a couple pearl danios. Well, actually, they're I got 3 of them, I think it was, for free. And then of course I had to go find more. So I've got a tank full of pearl danios, and I kind of think, do I really want the pearl danios? And I've got some koi swordtails in there. At first I didn't want the koi swordtails because I'm more of a naturalist or whatever, and the bright colors and stuff being hybrids. I told myself I didn't like them, so I put them in this tank here. I'm watching them every day and their actions. Now they're calling on me more, or whatever the word is I'm looking for. Not calling on me, growing on me. So maybe I want some more of those. It's good that I'm able to help out that way. I try to do what I can, and I'm telling myself that I need to uh, set limits for myself. I've driven, like I said, 2 or 3 hours one way to pick up some free fish, and if you think about it, by the time you drive 3 hours one way and 3 hours back, the gas, um, they're not really free fish anymore, are they? What's my favorite fish I've picked up this year? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I like that I got some L199s, but I don't like that I never see them. I did see them, saw three of them yesterday, I think it was, up inside the caves. I actually saw them, so that was good. They're still there. um, I don't know. CPDs are beautiful little fish. Yeah, I impulse bought some of those at the OCA. Um, they're one of the tanks that's in there, another room that I need to uh, move out to the building. They were in here for quarantine, and now there's a tank out there set up that that they can move into. I think I'm going to do them by themselves. Maybe some shrimp for a while. Possibly look to try to breed those. Oh, favorite fish I picked up this year? Probably Odessa barbs. I got some at one of the auctions, and they showed up at another auction and a third auction, and I just kept getting great deals on them. And apparently, the clubs in Tennessee, there was a guy down there that was breeding them outside in tubs and got overran with them, and was just like going and giving them away at the clubs in Tennessee. And there was a lot of Odessa barbs down that way from his uh, lineage, I guess, from his group. So I'm liking those right now. I've got those in with some swordtails, some Rio top of swordtails, and some uh, just regular bristle nose. And I'm thinking I'm going to work to set them up with a tub this upcoming summer and probably put those outside to see how they do. Um, I hadn't really thought much about breeding barbs, but hearing the guy down in Tennessee talk about how he did it basically by accident and was overrun with them, I'm like, hey, let's try it. Maybe I'll get some bat points out of them. And that uh, one of the guys up this way was talking that he does the same thing. He just puts them outside and they do their thing. So I didn't think that I'd breed anything outside in tubs other than like some guppies or something like that. And when the rice fish and the white clouds, and this year was a very nice year with the tubs that everything that I put out, except for the goldfish, and I wasn't expecting them to do anything. Um, Everything that I put out in tubs came back with babies. Uh, Encouraged me to continue with it next year and do more. Previous years haven't been so fruitful. Uh, Last year, 2022, I didn't do anything. 2021, I put some fish out, and a frog or a bird or something wiped it, wiped them all out. When I emptied the tub at the end of the year, there wasn't anything in it, no fish at all. Um, so got some trips in, got some neat little fish. I got some more Kalmani swordtails to add to my colony because I was low on females. I think that's what I was low on. So I got some more of those to put in there, and I moved my Liberty Mollies in with them, and just the movement in because they were on a bottom row tank, moving them up to eye level. I'm appreciating the Liberty Mollies a whole lot more. I don't do well with mollies for some reason, but these are doing well. Uh, the dominant male in the tank of the Liberty mollies has some really nice coloration. I need to get a video of those to share a short or something. Welcome, Geek Boy. Happy New Year to you. As far as the impulse fish that I got, that I'm not sure if I'll keep. And I've said this many times. I've got an Oscar out there in the building that I got, and then he started to grow on me also. But I don't know that I should. I don't know that I really want the Oscar. Jenny Lynn says, I'm enjoying breeding out L333s, and our super red Bristlenose are just starting to breed. I got 333s. Where did I got those at the Keystone Clash. Put them in the tank. Haven't seen them since. I need to go and do maintenance on that tank or something and look for them, see if they're even still in the tank. They could have jumped out or died or anything. I feed the tank. I do water changes on the tank. I don't ever see the fish. 333 was like one of the first fish when I went to the first fish club I ever went to. They had some L333s in the auction, and I remember they had a whole bag of them. There was probably like 6 of them in the bag, and it sold for $30. And I'd only taken $20 with me to the club because I didn't know that they were going to have an auction. I didn't know anything about fish clubs back then. And ever since then, I've been kind of wanting 333s, but not pulling the trigger to get them. And then I just bet on some at the Keystone Clash, because it was a fairly good price, and like I won't get them. I'll just help somebody out by getting the bid up a little bit more. And I won them, and I was excited about them. And yeah, if they're hiding, they're doing a really good job hiding. Geek Boy says plecos are not real. Potentially, they could also be like interdimensional beings. They create portals, and you put them in your tank, and they portal off to pleco realm, and then they portal back in every now and then. Those 199s that I got, that I put in, they're in with the Kalmanis. And I moved the rocks around, I moved the filters around, and I never saw those fish. I thought they must have jumped out or died or whatever, I don't know. And I guess it was last night I was in there and just watching, and they I saw movement up inside the caves, and there they were. Jenny Lynn got the 333s from Keystone Clash in 21, and the Shelleys came from there also. Which kind of Shelleys? I was thinking about this earlier. Definition of Shelleys varies from person to person, I guess. What I consider well, there's a few species that I think everybody considers shellies, and there's like a borderline that they aren't obligate shell dwellers, but some people call them shellies and some people don't. So of the ones that I classify as shell dwellers, I'm down to two species. Neolamprologus multifasciatus. Yeah, I've got those, and I've got the Similis. I had goat ocelotus. Um, thought I would breed those, even though that they were uh, supposed to be like devilfish killing each other and all that kind of stuff. Then I thought, I'll see the babies. I'll pull them out, and they won't eat the babies. I kept them for a year, and over a year, didn't see any babies, and they ended up killing each other. And then the last one managed to kill himself. So they lived up to their reputation. Um, and it was like a over the night thing that for a year they were fine together, didn't kill each other, just did their territory thing, and everybody minded their own business. And then one day, one of them decided to go crazy or whatever and wiped out everybody else. And then he was in the tank by himself for a month or so. And then he got himself wedged in an area and took himself out. Just upgraded them to a 40 breeder. That sounds like a good footprint, good sized tank or whatever for Maltese. I need to change mine around. I got, well, maybe not. I got Maltese, and then I've got some. Okay, in the middle tank, I got a 3-tiered rack. Maltese in the top, Similis in the bottom. In the middle is like a hodgepodge tank. I've got some Goodeids and some Cuddle punctatus and some what are those? A little Tanganyikan catfish. Synodontis. I've got those in there. And I was going to say I need to move my Similis up closer to my Maltese, but I don't want them to be that close together just in case a Maltese decides it's a flying fish and jumps out and lands in the Similis tank. So fish wise, I think we did okay. Trip wise, had a good time there. As far as the clubs, I spoke at 2 of the clubs, and got to visit a lot of them. And then got my home club rolling with legalization and all the paperwork filed and all that kind of stuff. So we're good there. Had a good time with all that. So 2024, looking to do more of the same, visiting clubs and enjoying that stuff. Would like to add a different group from Lake Tanganyika with them, like a different species. The 40 breeder. Yeah, you could, I guess. I've always, I guess on the top, I'm looking for the fries, stuff like that usually, and I'm always afraid with my shell dwellers, unless I've got like a taller tank that that I would lose the fry if I put something else in with them. I put endlers in with them, and they didn't have a problem there. But if I had if I put them in say like a 55-gallon tank, you could probably do that and have shell dwellers, and then have something up top like Cyprichromis or something. Or you might could put, and you might could do this in a 40 breeder. Put the shell dwellers on one side, and then some sort of rock dweller on the other side. I don't know that I'd want to mix different types of shell dwellers. Get the hybridization thing going. Yeah, that's what I had in mind when I said like rock dweller, which was the Julichromis. Uh, Daffodils catch my eye, but I'm not as familiar with them either. I think I've decided I've got too many species of Amatelonia, the convict genus. I've got too many of those, I believe. I need to focus in on like one or two species in the genus, do the breeding and stuff with them, and then move the rest of them out. Give me room for stuff like daffodils and stuff that I want to work with there. Well, there's Susie Q. Welcome, Susie, and a happy New Year to you. I'm trying to do more streams and just work myself at it. Become more comfortable streaming and make it so that it's more of a second nature thing. Because I've wanted to do streams for a while, and I keep talking myself out of it and coming up with excuses. So today was an opportunity to just jump on for a little while. When I was at the OCA walking around, going to the room sales, there was some really nice looking like Malawi cichlids. I don't know a whole lot about Malawi cichlids, but they were pretty. And I was halfway tempted to just get some and try some. I haven't had them in 20 something years. And, I've got Victorians and Tanganyikans. Might as well throw some Malawi in the building too, right? Maybe one day. I've been off work this week, so been using that as a opportunity to do things with the fish and um, spending some time on YouTube and stuff. And getting more projects done or further along. So I'm dreading going back to work next week. Work towards making the fish a full-time job or something. Of course, it'd probably be one of those things of sit at work, dreamed about making fish the full-time job, and then if I ever did make fish the full-time job, I'd be dreaming about doing something else. Vacation does go by way too fast. There, I've been on some vacations where I couldn't wait for them to be over, but anymore, just time away from the grind, as they say, the rat race is very valuable. And seems like no matter how much you have, you never have enough. Of course, then speaking of like spending time on YouTube and stuff, I don't know if you all do the same thing, but you start watching a video and then it leads to another video, and you know, a little while in, you're like, how did I get watching this video about laser engravers or whatever? But with me, I'll get on this, you know, tangent, and I'm watching about woodworking in a cabin or something. Like, oh, I would like to woodwork. I need to go get some wood or something. And I'll get my shoes on, my coat on to, go to the lumber yard to get some wood and be like, why am I gonna go get wood? What am I gonna do with that? Or I've really got onto a tangent this week, um, watching model train stuff. And I'm realizing that I'm on a big tangent there. And got sidetracked thinking about setting up a saltwater tank again. I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm gonna set up a saltwater tank because fresh water's too enjoyable for me. Pouring resin. Oh, that sounds fun. Pouring resin because of that tangent. Yep, that sounds about right. You get on this tangent like, oh, I can make scented candles, and then I've got a shelf full of scented candles. Let's see, hours pass before you know it. I like to do maintenance on tanks and enclosures while watching. Yeah, and see, like I've got it set up in the building out there where, as I said, it's temporary because it's been that way over a year. A temporary setup to where I can take my phone and plug it in and turn a stream on or turn a video on, and it plays through speakers in the building. So I can be in the back part of the building doing a water change or testing stuff or whatever, and hear the live stream or the video playing. And and somebody's reading my thoughts. Coldwater Aquatics. Welcome, Brandon. I do it a lot during Brandon's stream. Is I'll turn, the Friday stream. I'll turn it on, set the phone over there, hooked up with the speakers. He'll be talking, and I'm dipping fry out of a tank or water changing or whatever. And I feel bad about it because I'm the type, I want to be in chat talking and stuff. And so I'll be like, for example, Brandon will ask a question on his stream. What do we think about this or whatever? So I'm sitting there, my hands on the table, I'm verbally talking back, thinking, I'm an idiot. I'm basically talking to myself. And I'd much rather be, sitting there watching and actually typing out the answer so that everybody knows, have like a two-way conversation there. But if anybody ever like stepped into the building while I'm doing that, They would think that I was totally crazy. I'm like talking to myself, sort of. We're all dedicated. Is that what it is? Is dedicated? There might be another word for that. I know I'm a procrastinator. I start a project and then get sidetracked on another project and get sidetracked on another project. I started putting that water heater in the fish building. I don't know, in the spring. Well, I started with the other water heater before it blew up. Uh, I guess a year ago, before a year ago, and now I've got the second water heater started and still don't even have it finished. But I'm getting closer. I got the water lines almost all hooked up. I gotta I gotta glue some together. The hot water out, well, the cold water in. I gotta glue that too. But they're dry fit together. And then I gotta actually work on the gas line. But as soon as I do that, then I can hook up my auto water change system where I don't have to worry about doing the water changes for 3 hours. It'll take me 3 hours to do water changes in there. Longer in the wintertime when since I don't have hot water in there now. We're all definitely in a virtual conversation with each other. Yeah, we are in a good way, a unique group of people. LJ Shrimp, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year. Yeah, that was another tangent. Speaking of getting off on tangents of stuff, LJ Shrimp made me think about it. I got on this tangent early in the year about making my own fish food and shrimp food and stuff. And I made some, and got this big idea that I was going to like start making all kinds of stuff. And then I realized it's I'm a procrastinator, and that's probably not a good thing for me to do. It's just easier just to buy the stuff. Silver Creek Wildlife, welcome. So I put the chat on the TV behind the camera, but then I'm still reading it off of the little phone here. Welcome, Silver Creek. Um, Jason's plumbing seems to be a hit. If you run a compost pile, that's another tangent that I've kind of got sidelined on. And you have a dehydrator. Yeah. You'll have a constant supply of soldier fly larvae maggots. Ooh. Yeah, I bought a dehydrator a year or two back, thinking I was going to start making beef jerky. It hasn't been opened. And I've been watching videos about compost, thinking I need to do that too. Yeah, Jason has that I speak thing, or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do half the stuff that they do on these streams. But I figure I'll try. Wi-Fi. Welcome, welcome. Happy New Year to everybody that I haven't said Happy New Year to. Thought I would pop up for a while and get some more streaming time in. Dehydrator is how they make bug bites, I'm guessing. It's seriously dehydrated, ground up, and mashed together bugs. oh, drawn a blank. Not Crayfish Empire. I think that's who. My brain tells me that's not the right name, but I'm thinking it is. He was at the Keystone Clash, and I was looking at some of his foods and stuff that he had, and it said bugs or mealworms or something as an ingredient. And I asked him if he, did he have to like grind them up or whatever? And he was telling me about the process of how he did it. And I'm like, oh, okay. For some reason in my mind, I'm picturing you putting like live mealworms into like a Food Ninja processor thing. But yeah, they were dehydrated. Let's see. From there, you can dehydrate kale or moringa or green or choice, mix it in. Crayfish Empire. I guess it was Crayfish Empire. My brain just tells me that wasn't the name, but it is. It's the same technique, but special molds for different size pellets, which really helps. Yeah, but those molding machine things are like really expensive. That's why, let's leave it to people like him that can do that. Maybe one day I'll get on a tangent and impulse buy that stuff, but dehydrated maggots. Yeah, I don't know about that. I know I can buy like dried mealworms and stuff. Probably buy dried soldier fly larvae. Metallurgy techniques. Nothing that would work. If I tried to do anything with metal, it wouldn't do very good. It does sound delicious, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. I didn't remember. I remembered the pellet maker. Him saying how much it was, but I couldn't remember how much right now. How much it was? I just remembered it was like, whoa, okay, no, I'm good. Amateur at metallurgy as well, but learning. Gonna get my own welder soon. I would like to learn to weld, but knowing me, I would like weld my arm to something or do something dumb. Mealworms are easy. The same Jenny Lynn, I used to raise mealworms for my leopard geckos that I had. Um, and at times I was thinking, am I raising leopard geckos or am I raising mealworms? Terry's Tropical Tanks, welcome. Happy New Year. Big Steve's Glassbox Creations, come in. Hello. Happy New Year to you too. And if I missed somebody, I didn't say Happy New Year to somebody, you know that I mean it. I'm just trying to catch up trying to keep up on all this stuff, all this chat stuff. If I want to learn how to weld real quick, get into a school that teaches 3D welding. Baptism by fire. Yeah. Speaking of 3D welding or 3D, I just burn it off. It won't stick. Normal people probably burn it off. I'd end up like making it stick somehow. End up with like a bionic arm or something. But the 3D welding tangent, not really welding, but I've been on a tangent looking at 3D printers recently. I know nothing about 3D printing other than it looks cool. And there's some stuff that I'd like to make that I could probably 3D print. But it'll probably end up being like the dehydrator or the turkey deep fryer or the giant pressure canner or any of those, or the greenhouse, the multiple things that I've purchased and never got out of the box. But yeah, the 3D printing, Susie. Yeah, I've been looking at the 3D printers. My younger brother has one, and I'll go over there and they show me this like cool dragon thing that he made, or made a little octopus thing, or he 3D printed some sort of Star Wars names aren't working for me. Bounty hunter person hat, the helmet thing, and Boba Fett. Is that right? Anyways, he 3D printed the helmet, and I'm thinking, oh, that'd be cool. I bet I could make like little jungle gems for Boba Fett. See, okay, see, my brain says the name, and the other part of my brain says, oh, that's not right. I know one of the fits, but I see him making all this neat little novelty stuff. Is the way I see it, and I'm thinking, oh, I could make little jungle gems for my shrimp, or I could make uh, test tube holders for my uh, test kit, or I could make. My brain goes to all this fish stuff. I'm corrupted by fish, I guess. My youngest son, who has spina bifida, took a dual credit class as a senior at the local college. We've been converting him a space in the shop to make stuff he can novelty sell. Yeah, and that would be cool, to help him out to be able to make stuff where he could sell and with me, if I'm able to make something or manipulate something in a way that I can give it to someone or sell it to someone, it gives me a sense of accomplishment. So I guess everybody else is that way too. But I've stuck with this one a while, so I may end up getting a 3D printer and actually trying to figure out how to make the thing work. And I may only be able to make those little Boba Fett helmets and Chinese dragons and stuff, but I'll try to make a fish tank stuff. Make a little diver man that sinks and comes back up with bubbles. what I'll end up doing is end up killing the fish. I'll end up getting some sort of plastic that isn't fish safe. Moss sledge? Yeah, I didn't think about that. 3D print automatic fish feeders. Of course, then I have to put like all electronics and stuff in it. And oh, I didn't think about it floating. That would be. I'd make a little shrimp jungle gym thing to put in there, and it'd float. I just had like an epiphany thing. These 3D printers. It was the word resin, and I don't know why it didn't. Why it didn't hit me earlier when the word resin was made or used. We use the word resin at work. I work in uh, plastics and stuff. And now that I'm thinking about it, a 3D printer is just like a much smaller, scaled down version of some of the equipment we have at work. I like to overthink things, complicate them, make them too difficult to operate. Okay, so 3D printed item, and then you're coating it in resin to go in the tank. Okay, I guess that's an option too. But yeah, they probably make the. I haven't looked into it that much. Make the food grade plastics that you can 3D print also. As long as they wouldn't float. Oh, okay, yeah. Got an excuse to do the 3D printing, got an excuse to do the resin pouring, got an excuse to do all the other stuff. Yeah, they all connect. That's the reason to get into this stuff. Learn to weld, and you weld something up, and then you can't put that metal in the tank. You got to get the resin to coat it all in. Now you can put that metal sculpture in the tank. All right, we're. I said I wasn't going to go long, and here we are at an hour. So I want to get off here before 6 o'clock. Uh, Scotty Aquati, welcome in. I'm fixing to close it down, but Happy New Year. It's almost 6, and I don't know if Skipper's going live or someone else, but I know all the restaurants and everything's closing around here pretty soon. And I'm going to go see if something's open to get some food and come back and maybe watch some streams or clean another fish tank. So thank you all for coming out for this impromptu stream, and I hope everyone has a good New Year's and good weekend, and we'll see you later.